me behind bars and stole everything I ever had. From the moment we were born, my sister Serafina and I were like a team. She was the face, and I was the soul. Sarah was born with this magnetic charisma and raven black hair that the camera loved. Me, I was the quiet blonde girl who lived in her shadow, perfectly content as long as I had my guitar. While she practiced her poses in the mirror, I was locked in my room, writing songs. Music was the one thing that was like truly mine. We made a pact when we were kids. I'd write the hits and she'd become the star. And for a while, it worked. Our first big break came from a song I wrote after my first heartbreak. Sarah performed it at a local talent show, and her dramatic performance made the song go viral overnight. Suddenly, she wasn't just my sister, she was Sarah, the next big thing. I was happy for her, I truly was. Her success felt like my success. Our lives changed in a flash. We moved to a slick apartment in LA, and mom and dad hired a whole team for Sarah: managers, publicists, stylists, and me, her secret weapon. My official title was assistant, but my real job was to churn out hit after hit from the privacy of our shared apartment. One afternoon, a music blogger named Stylus came to interview her. He was different from the usual industry types. He had kind eyes and a genuine smile, and he didn't seem impressed by Sarah's rehearsed answers. He kept asking about the lyrics, about the emotion behind the words. Sarah gave him some rehearsed story about a puppy she lost, but I could see he wasn't buying it. While she was taking a call, he turned to me. Your sister's the star, but the person who wrote that song, they really lived. There's real soul in those words. My heart did a flip. For the first time, someone saw me. We only talked for a minute about a few obscure bands we both loved, but it was more of a real connection than I'd had in years. When Sarah came back, she saw the way he was looking at me, and a flicker of something cold crossed her face. I didn't think much of it then, but it was the first sign of the storm that was coming. The bigger Sarah got, the more the lines started to blur. At first, she'd thank her amazing writing team. Then it became my co-writer. Soon, she was just telling everyone that she wrote everything herself. The final straw came when she got the offer of a lifetime, a multi-million-dollar record deal, but it hinged on one more mega hit. The label wanted something deeply personal, something raw. She came to me, like tears in her eyes, begging me, Kelly, I need you. Just one more. Write something only we would know. Our grandmother had passed away a year earlier, and the grief was still a fresh wound in my heart. So I wrote a song for her. I poured every memory, every secret whispered between us, every ounce of my love and pain into that song.
On Grandma's porch, the sun would fade away, and the breeze would.
It was the most honest thing I had ever created. The song, Grandma's Porch, didn't just become a hit. It became an anthem. It was like everywhere. Sarah was on every talk show, on the cover of every magazine, and the story she told, it was a masterpiece of fiction. She'd take my personal memories, my intimate secrets about Grandma, and weave them into this tragic tale of how she wrote the song alone in her room, crying over a faded photograph. She stole my grief and wore it like a designer gown. It was the ultimate betrayal. But I said nothing. How could I? I didn't want to destroy our family or the dream we built together. Silas was the only one who seemed to see through it. He reached out to me saying her story didn't add up, that he wanted to hear my side. But every time we tried to meet, Sarah would conveniently have an emergency that I had to handle. She was building a wall around me, and I was too afraid to tear it down. The paranoia started to consume her. The record label wanted a full album, and she knew she couldn't deliver without me. She saw the way Silas looked at me, she saw the truth in my eyes, and she knew I was a ticking bomb. My very existence was a threat to her lies. So she decided to do more than just steal my life. She decided to erase me from it completely. I had this nerdy little hobby on the side, coding, just something to keep my mind busy. Sarah knew all my passwords. One night, while I was asleep, she used my laptop. She didn't just leak a few songs, she uploaded the entire unreleased album of the label's biggest rival pop star. It was an act of corporate sabotage worth millions, and the digital trail led directly, flawlessly, to me. The next morning, I woke up to police officers bursting into my room. They handcuffed me in front of my parents, who just stood there in shock. The public humiliation was brutal. The media painted me as a bitter, washed-up songwriter, a jealous sister trying to destroy her famous twin from the shadows. The betrayal cut deeper when, at the trial, Sarah herself took the stand. With fake tears streaming down her face, she told the world how I always had been jealous, how I couldn't handle her fame, and how I had threatened to ruin her career. She used my private journals, twisting my words of frustration into a confession of a crime I didn't commit. My own family believed her. I was completely alone. The judge sentenced me to 2 years in a juvenile detention center. As they dragged me away, I locked eyes with Sarah. There was no remorse in her face, only cold, calculated victory. She had won. She had my life, my songs, my future. And I was left to rot.
The first few months in juvie were a nightmare. The silence was the worst part. No music, no guitar, just the cold, gray walls and the endless loop of my sister's betrayal playing in my head. I felt like I had disappeared. But then, a flicker of